is there neglect of Sri Vishnupriya and Sri Gauranga's worship in our Vaishnava world today? It's an important question. Very important question. And you'll hardly find a murti of Gaur and Vishnupriya anywhere. You'll find Gaur Nitai everywhere. You'll find Panchatattva. You'll find Gaur Gadadhar even in some places, you know. But hardly do we find Gaur Vishnupriya. So why? Why the neglect? Let's ask an important question. Why is Vishnupriya and Gauranga's worship often neglected amongst Gaudiya Vaishnavas? It would certainly appear logical that their worship deserved more attention. Isn't Srimati Vishnupriya's eternal place on Gauranga's left side?
Eternal place.
Eternal place.
Very important.
Isn't she eternally found on the left side of Gauranga? Yeah. She is Prabhu's loving wife, and hence the closest to him in the circle of his home, family, and bhaktas.
Closest.
And she's in Mahaprabhu's, she sleeps with him in Gauranga's bedroom. The bhaktas aren't there. The bhaktas are somewhere else. They have their own homes. Even Mother Sachi, she's part of Sachi's Angan, but she has her own room. So Vishnupriya, her Seva Adhikar is the closest to Gauranga. Most intimate. Yeah, right. She is Prabhu's loving wife and hence the closest to him in the circle of his home, family, and bhaktas. In terms of prem, Vishnupriya embodies Mahabhav. And she leads infinite Shokis and Dasis who are her plenary expansions. Moreover, Gaudiya Vaishnavas traditionally worship the Lord in his jugal form. In other words, they're jugal upashaks. Traditionally, Vaishnavas are. Which means that they prefer to opt for the worship of Sri Bhagavan along with the Swarup Shakti counterpart. For example, in Ram Leela, Sita Ram's worship is the foremost. Right? And in Krishna Leela, Radha and Krishna's worship is the most popular. Right. So, in Gaur Leela, why do we find a neglect for Vishnupriya and Gauranga's Jugal Upasana? Seems like it would follow the gender. In Gaur Leela, we have Sitaram, and in Krishna Leela, we have Radha Krishna. And in Gaur Leela, then we find
Gauranitai.
Gauranitai. Jugal Upasana means male, female. So, Gauranitai is not male and female. It's Krishna Balaram, like Krishna Balaram. And is Krishna Balaram's worship the most popular in Krishna Leela?
No. Radha
Krishna's worship is the most popular. So why in Gauranga Leela do we find this neglect of worshipping Gaur and Vishnupriya's jugal form? To begin our inquiry, let's look to the beginning of Gaur Leela. For here we can find a historical reason behind such neglect. In 1486 AD, Sri Bhagavan appeared in our world. Then countless people took his shelter. Krishna's Leela sites in Vrindavan were rediscovered. Many Vaishnava Shastras were written, and the Gopis' Anugata Bhajan began. Now, which is the most important subject matter here? The obvious answer should be Gauranga, Sri Bhagavan's advent. The other items listed, although very important, are the fruit of Prabhu's advent. Let me elaborate. The Lord of millions of universes, who stands beyond Maya's influence and whose shining toenails the yogis often fail to see after executing tapasya for thousands of years, has appeared in our society. Yet more than just appearing. For 48 years, Sri Bhagavan has laughed, cried, dined, and slept, and exchanged wonderful pastimes with the people. It is a great misfortune, therefore, that we overlook his original worship. When Gauranga is manifest in Navadvip, a majority of bhaktas worship Vishnupriya and Gauranga. and Nagari Bhav forms their internal mood. There are countless examples which Gauranga's foremost associates have documented. Narahari Sarkar, Vasudev Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, Murari Gupta, Shivanand Sen, Advaita Charya, Kavi Karnapur, Lochan Das, and many others have contributed to the genre in their literature and poetry.
The genre.
Huh? How do you say?
Genre.
That's how
It's a French word. Gender is a different word completely.
How do you pronounce it?
It's genre.
Really?
Yeah.
It's the first time I've heard it. Anyway, this verse that we just recited from Vishwanath, the first verse in his Mahaprabhu Astakalila Stotra, he's mentioning that one should follow the footsteps of Mahaprabhu's Navadip associates to attain Mahaprabhu in his Navadip Leela. So here we find those devotees, his Navadip associates who wrote about him, whose teachings we can follow. So their names, let me repeat their names again. Narahari Sarkar, Vasudev Ghosh, Govinda Ghosh, Murari Gupta, Shivananda Sen, Advaita Charya, Kavi Karnapur, Lochan Das, and many others. Sri Gauranga's Madhur Rasa Bhajan of Navadip forms an essential part of his avatar, and it is non-different from Sri Krishna's Madhur Rasa Bhajan in Vrindavan. Hence, this is Sri Bhagavan's first major contribution to the people of Kali Yuga. First, foremost, beginning, Adi Leela. What happened in the beginning is here. This is how Gauranga's Leela started, and this is how it began with Nagari Bhajan, Gaur Vishnu Priya's Bhajan, etc.
And this is his own Madhuras, his own
They
Nija.
worship Mahaprabhu and Madhur Rasa. The second phase of Sri Gauranga's mercy unfolded when he became Sri Krishna Chaitanya. Then Prabhu's mood changed, and his headquarters shifted to Nilachal. Vrindavan's 6 Goswamis first met Prabhu as a sannyasi. Hence they became familiar with his Radha Bhav Leela and propagated worshipping him in this mood. Upon Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's demise, the seat of Gaudiya Vaishnavism shifted to Vrindavan. Under Prabhu's order, the Goswamis established Radha Krishna's worship, rediscovered their Leela sites, and wrote many volumes of Vaishnava Shastra. Because Prabhu directed the Goswamis to focus on Sri Krishna's Leela, Tattva, and Ras, they nearly omitted Gauranga's topic in their writing. But when these Shastras reached Bengal, Sri Gauranga's original worship in Navadip gradually became replaced by the Goswami's teachings. This is historically, this is what happened. Chaitanya Charitamrita presents the Goswami's teachings in context with their mood of worshipping Sri Chaitanya and Radha Bhav. Krishnadas Kaviraj, who was amongst the Goswamis, completed this book in Vrindavan 82 years after Sri Chaitanya's demise. He concludes each chapter in submission to his Shiksha Guru, Sri Rupa and Sri Raghunath. Yet, the main reason for neglect concerning Vishnu Priya's Leela with Gauranga lies here. Prabhu and Priyaji's Madhur Leela isn't narrated in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Neither is it mentioned in the Goswami Shastras. Hence, Rupanuga Vaishnavas, who basically imbibe their seva mood from Chaitanya Charitamrita and the Goswami Shastras, stand hardly a chance of becoming attracted to Gaur and Vishnu Priya. When it's not preached there, how will they develop this mood? In summary, Sri Navadip's Madhur Leela and its mode of worship with Vishnu Priya and Gauranga can be relished by hearing from Gauranga's eternal associates who shared a role in those Leelas. Yet these bhaktas have a special quality. They become Gaurangamoy, totally focused on Gauranga. And hence, they accept him as the essence of Gaur Avatar. Historically speaking, Rupanuga Vaishnavism began after Prabhu's Navadip chapter ended. But why didn't Gauranga allure Rupa, Sanatan, and the other Vrindavan Goswamis to Navadip? Surely, there's a good reason. If they had seen Gauranga's original mood as a Nagar, and if they had witnessed his Sankirtan Ras Leela at Srivasangan, Who would have written Prabhu's Brajalila Shastras? And who would have preached the Gopis Anugata Bhajan? It is true, the modes of the Navadvip and the Vrindavan schools of Gaudiya Vaishnava do contrast. The Rupa Nugas tend to be Krishnavadis, fixed more in Radha and Krishna's Leela. Whereas the Gauravadis love to focus more on Gauranga in his Madhur Navadvip Leela. But because both paths contain a rich abundance of Leela Ras, it's said that Vaishnavas often bicker over which is the right path. So wouldn't we profit more to see the utility of both outlooks? Krishnadas Kaviraj supports this ideology in Chaitanya Charitamrita. Krishna Leela Mrita Sar Tar Sata Sata Dhar Das Dike Bahi Jaha Hoite Chaitanya Leela Hoy Saravar Akoy Monohangsa Chorahata Hate. The essence of Krishna Leela Mrita comes streaming into the immortal lake of Gauranga Leela in hundreds of tributaries from the 10 directions. Hey Bhaktas, just let the swan of your mind glide over this lake. These verses contain a magnificent purport. In essence, the Braja Ras and the Navadvip Ras are one. Everything in Krishna Leela also finds its refuge in Gaur Leela. Hey Vaishnavas, let's strive to become like swans to sip all of the nectar.
Gaura Premanande. Hari Hari Bol.
Very simple, you know. What if they're so pundits become these Vrindavan pundits? They exclude these things, you know. It's so painful to the heart. I can't explain in words, you know. But they want to negate Gauranga Nagari Bhajan.
Most people are not able to contain two things, two ideas simultaneously. Most people, if you present two mutually contradictory or seemingly contradictory ideas, rather than trying to find a way of harmonizing them, they'll look for ways to exclude one or the other. So they can, because people don't have the capacity to meditate or to control more than one thing. So that's what happens. They see Radha and Krishna as being supreme, and they think.
Well, they're right in one way. Let me explain. If they just want to worship Gauranga in Radha Bhav and enter into Radha Krishna's pastimes as manjaris, that's a very high form of bhajan. It's completely bona fide by the Goswami Shastras, and they will see only that, because in Mani Jai Jar Bhav Se Mani Sarvatam. Everyone thinks that the bhav, their particular adopted mood is the highest or the best. And it's true that these people won't see Gauranga's pastimes with the Nagaris because they don't want to. That what they have in their bhajan is sufficient for them. But in Gaur Leela, this is also true. The way that's presented here in the Gutika, that's we accept it 100%. The Goswami's teaching we accept 100% in full, and the Goswamis are also worshipping Mahaprabhu in this way also, and you can follow in this dhara in worshipping in Radha Bhav. But side by side, there's Leela Bed, Prakash Bed, Rahasya. In other words, this is going on, and simultaneously these pastimes with the Nagaris are also going on, side by side. You know, so how much do you want? If you want Purna Gaur Leela, you'll have to accept this mood also. But if you just want to, if you're just satisfied with accepting half of the hand, like the Rosaraj side, and neglecting the Rosaraj Upasana, you can get that. It's up to you. You know, you can't force this on anybody. If you're completely satisfied with the Goswami's teachings and Radha Bhav Gauranga, and you don't want any more than that, that's what you'll get. You know, they're right. There's no such thing as Nagari Bhav, because those who are following that way in that stream, they're not seeing it. To them, they're right. This is why there's what we were discussing the other day. Samosta Viruddha Aviruddha Sama Ashray. And Gauranga is on their side. He's also on our side. He's strengthening their conclusions that all these things are false. Because they're not seeing them. They never studied these Shastras. They never, have they read Damali by Lochan? Have they read Narahari Sarkar's poetry or Vasudeva Ghosh's poetry? Have they read this Gaur Charita Chintamani by Narahari Chakravarti? Have they read Gauranga Champu? No, they don't read these Shastras. If they read these Shastras, then they will get another outlook. But because they're completely enwrapped in their particular mode of worship, this Rupa Nukadhara, they're not going to see it. But if one does want to see these things and strives to learn all these other references and follow, and particularly in our Navadvip Upasana, all these associates are there, and their mood is Nagari Bhav. That is established firmly in their poetry. If you read Vasudeva Ghosh's poetry, if you read Narahari Sarkar's poets, if you read Shivananda Sen's poetry, or Lochan Das's poetry, or Govinda Das, you'll find that they're all in this Nagari Bhav. And to follow in their footsteps, you can also become like them and attain it. And at the same time, the beautiful thing is, you can also be Rupa Nuga. We accept them, Rupa Nugas in total. Everything that Rupa Goswami has presented, we accept it. We accept, in other words, and all the Goswami Shastras can be used for understanding Nagari, the Nagari Tattva. Ujjal Nilamani. Ujjal Nilamani is telling all about the Nayikas and all about the Shakis and all the Shaki Prakaran, Nayika Prakaran, the Duti Prakaran. How many are there? All these things are pertaining to Mathura Ras. This Mathura Ras. In fact, in Ujjala Nilamani, how many slokas are there that describe the manjaris? I've only found one slok in the whole entire Ujjala Nilamani that refers to manjaris. The rest is all Kantava. So this mood with Gauranga's consorts is in Kantava. So all these things, there's 364 types of nayikas that are described in Ujjala Nilamani can apply to Gauranga's consorts in Navadvip. You can apply it. What do you think? And I think that was his intention also, to explain Gaur Leela in a camouflaged way. The Goswami Shastras, if you can see them from a standpoint of a Gaur body, you can see that he's just writing about Gaur Leela. All the Leela Shastras that are directing our attention to Radha Krishna can also be applied in Gauranga's pastimes. With Gaur Vishnupriya or Gaur Gadadhar, some people worship Gaur Nityananda and Mathura Ras. It's all there. There's no contradiction. It's all one. Braja Leela and Navadvip Leela are one Leela. Why do they argue so much in Vikar? Why not just accept everything? Accept Mahaprabhu as he is, in total. That's why our philosophy is better than theirs, because our philosophy includes everything that they have. But we have more. Isn't it? We all of their teaching, we read all of their books, and we follow all of their teachings, accepted in total. And on top of that, we have these teachings also. So I think they're shortchanging themselves by not accepting Mahaprabhu's complete upasana.
The leaders accept, but they never tell anybody about it.
They do not know about these things.
The leaders,
That means they're not into it themselves.
That might
If
be, but they still accept
if they are into it themselves, then they'll be practicing it too. But they're upholding the Rupa Nugadhara. They're representing that, so they don't go beyond that.
I have a question. If there's no difference, then what's the difference?
There's no difference.
Now I'm saying that basically you say the two leaders.
Simultaneous,
Yeah,
this is
so-
our
so-
Chitta.
so-
This
yeah,
is our
yeah,
Chitta Veda.
Okay, but I'm saying.
There is a difference. Yes, there is a great difference. There's a
Let me
flavor.
summarize the problem. Okay, and this the problem. We summarize the problem like this: that Madhura Rasa is the highest rasa.
Oh.
Madhura
Tad,
Rasa
okay.
is the highest rasa. This has been described. The bhaktas this Madhura Rasa has had its manifestation in Krishna Lila. So now, the point of the way that the Goswamis have described it, the point of Mahaprabhu's Leela and Mahaprabhu's incarnation is to taste Radharani Bhav, because he could not taste it in Vrindavan. So their problem is that they say that, well, if the Madhura Rasa is there in Vrindavan, then what is the point of having another Madhura Rasa here? For them, the two Leelas are the same because they're embodied inside of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu carries that universe within him, and he's manifesting one aspect of it by which we can become attracted and experience the Madhura Rasa of Vrindavan. Even in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, it says basically the Madhura Rasa, Madhura Bhav. This is experienced, especially in the Parakiya mood, is experienced uniquely in Vrindavan. So now, if that's the case, then what is the point of having another Madhura Rasa Leela here in Navadvip? Why is Gauranga? What is the distinctive characteristic? What is the superlative characteristic? What is the extra characteristic of the Madhura Rasa of Navadvip that adds adds something to the one?
Krishna is a Madhura Rasa Upabhogi.
Yeah.
That's his Nitya Swabhav. He's mad when tasting Madhura Ras. Madhura Ras basically means Kanta-bhav. Therefore Krishna has unlimited consorts. And amongst all those consorts we can say that Radharani is Krishna Kanta Shiromani. And Radha has, you see, Krishna has his desires. Radharani also has her desires. If we just take Krishna, just analyze Krishna's desire, that's not complete, because Radharani also has their desire. You know, remember that poem by Narottam Das, Hedi He Nagar Bor Shuno He Murlidhar. You know, it paints a beautiful picture. Krishna is going into the forest cow herding with the Shakas, and Radharani is standing at home in the kitchen watching from the window, you know. She's crying because she can't go. You know, if I hadn't been a Nari, if I were a Purush, then I could join my Prananath right now. No one could object, you know. Alas, if Nari na koriti heno guranidi mani brahmiti koritam deshi deshi, I would have followed him everywhere, in every place. And what happens in Gaur Lila? This Radharani, her desire becomes fulfilled in the form of Godadhar. There was a Leela that illustrates this very beautifully. Once Mahaprabhu was in Radha Bhav. Where's Krishna? Where's Krishna? And he was mad. He went mad for Krishna, and Gadadhar was sitting next to him, and he was calling Mahaprabhu. Krishna is in your heart. Don't search elsewhere. He's in your. And then Mahaprabhu went mad, and he started to claw at his chest, you know, to extract Krishna from his chest. You know. And Gadadhar pacified him and calmed him down. And Mother Sachi saw Gadadhar's capacity to, because Mother Sachi couldn't calm him down, Gadadhar calmed him down. He saw this and he said, Gadadhar, you never give up this association. You stay with him. Don't give up Gauranga's association for a minute, for a second. You always remain by his side. And this was Gauranga's mother, Sachi, was fulfilling Radharani's desire in this statement. You know, that Radharani always wants to remain. That Gadadhar followed Gauranga after he became a sannyasi, also he became a Ketra sannyasi, and Nilacho. But the thing is that Radharani, in Gaur Lila, we have one Radha. But how many Radhas are there in Gaur Lila? We say 5. You know? So Radharani's motor pastimes with Krishna are become more expanded, more diverse. You know, Radha Krishna's Leela is fairly easy to understand. You know, but as Radha takes on a male form this time, it becomes more difficult to understand. You know, it's more covered. That's why Gaura is a Prachanda avatar. His Prem Ras Leela is hidden. It's not seen directly. Like Radha Krishna's Leela, it's more easy. Here's a male, here's a female. Their Jugal Milan is taking place. But here's a male and here's another male. And as far as males and males uniting, that's called Bibhatsa Ras. It's gas. It's Rasa Bas. So is this happening in some Rasa Bas way? No. We couldn't term it Ras. How is it happening? Because there were females previously, they surely that capacity to manifest in female form still must be there. And this is the Rahasya of Gaur Leela, that all these females are now males, but they can also be females again. That Mahaprabhu's in Ras Leela, there's only one Purush, and everyone else is Prakriti. You know, that Ek Purusha Mani Nandalal are Savai Prakriti, and in Ras Leela. In Ras Leela, there's only one Purush, and all the others are Prakriti, and Navadip and Vrindavan are Abhinna. So where's the Ras Mandala in Vrindavan, in Navadip? It's there at Srivasanga. And all these males become female. And just as he expands himself with each gopi, he expands himself with each bhakta. You know? And that's why I was very sad to hear that they don't accept this philosophy.
The plus is
this Siddhanta, but it's factual.
The manjari.
Or else Radharani's prem can never flourish in Navadip. It only flourishes in Mahaprabhu in the form of bhav. But if it's only limited to bhav alone, then it's not a complete relish. This is not only bhavadya, it's also rasatmak. You know? Rasi milan hoy, bhavi milan hoy na. Bhave sampurna milan hoy na. And not only that, the Radharani is in the form of Vishnupriya, Radharani is in the form of Mahaprabhu, is in the form of Gadadhar, and Gadadhar Das is also there. You know, this Aishwarya form of Radharani was Chandrakanti, who danced in Swarga till attained Krishna. That's Gadadhar Das. He's written many Nagari poets also. We just examine their poetry. You know? Just examine, what are they saying? What kind of bhav is there? This should be studied. And when you study their writings, you study their poetry, you'll find that this is exactly what they're alluding to, is that this Jugal Milan is continuing on in Gaur Leela. It's factual. It's not just in bhav. It's complete sambho. And if you follow in their footsteps, you can also attain this. This is Mahaprabhu's first contribution to the people of Kali Yuga, is that he became Nadi's Nagar, and he exchanged, in Bishoy, he's the Bishoy of everyone's praying. You know, if it's Vishnu Priya, if it's Gadadhar, if it's Nityananda, if it's any Gaur Bhakta, he's there for them. He's their Prabhupada. And when Mahaprabhu became a sannyasi, then no one could continue calling him a pranana. This is why this Ras of Navadip is special. As soon as Mahaprabhu becomes a sannyasi, then it's all lost. Then he becomes Patipal or Jagat Guru, and then he's focusing on Jiva Uddhara. And that's part and parcel of this Leela too. So that's very important. But this essential, that's what I was trying to say the other day when I was speaking downstairs, is that I favor this Nitya Leela over the Boma Leela. Because in Gauranga's Nitya Navadip Leela and Golok, it has all the wonderful things without the inconvenience. You know? This Jugal Milan can take place, there's no demons to kill. and there's no
Chakai Mata.
pandits to overcome. You know, there's no Prakasana, the Saraswatis to do. Now he's Prabhupada. You know, and there's no. He doesn't go to South India. He doesn't go to other places. He's always in Navadvip in his Nitya Kishore form. And both Priyas are there. Lakshmi Priya, Vishnu Priya are both there. And it's described here in this Gutika. You know, I was surprised I heard when I went to see Madan Mohan once at Govardhan in his kutir, and I mentioned that, and he said, "Oh yes, my Gurudev has told me that in this Antapur, it's described, you know, the description of Jagannath Mishra here, that there's a lake inside these golden walls, you know, Puskarini, and on the banks of that Puskarini are flower nikunjas. And in front of it is Lakshmi's Antapur and Vishnupriya's Antapur. And there's no Purush can go there. It's inside of the house, you know. It's connected to them. And it's surrounded on the outside by a golden wall. And there's this Sam Prashram Sankocha, although it appears very small from the first appearance, it can expand unlimitedly. It becomes a whole realm. So Gauranga pastimes with Vishnu Priya and all of her Shakis and Dasis, and Gauranga's pastimes with Lakshmi Priya and all of her Shakis and Dasis take place there on a nitya basis. That's part of the Lila. Oh, who can enter there? Only females. If you have to enter that, if you want to enter that Lila, you have to become Prakriti. Let me stop there.
The magic locket. The manjaris that couldn't taste Krishna there in Krishna Lila, they can taste in Kantabhav as Nagaris. There's another point. There's another something more. This is the magic locket, isn't it?
Well, I'm going to speak to that. So you have one particular.
Bhav.
You see, Radharani has her bhav also. You know. Radharani desires that the Bandhus actually meet Krishna, but they don't desire. So Krishna is one thing, and Gauranga is another thing. Although they're different, you know, but they are different at the same time. Because Gauranga is more than just Krishna; he's Radha Krishna. So the majorities they can say no to Krishna, but when he becomes Radha and Krishna combined in one form, it's a little bit harder to say no.
Yes. Yeah. It's like
especially when Radha wants to. When Gauranga he's Jeev Ballabha. He's not just Gopi Jana Ballabha or Nagari Ballabha. He's Jeev Ballabha. He's giving this Madhura Ras to everyone. This is the meaning of. You see, in Vrindavan they have their Bekya, meaning Manjari Bhav, but we accept that, of course. But there's more to this gift. This Anarpita Chari Mahakurunar Dan doesn't just mean Manjari Bhav. Sada Hridaya Kandani Spuratu ba Sachinandana. He's referring to Sachinandana in this verse, not to Krishna. And since he's referring to Sachinandana, wouldn't you, this Anarpita Chari Mahakuruna Dan be found in Navadvip as well? You have to go to Vrindavan to attain this Unata Ujjal Muthura Ras. It's in context with Sachinandana in this verse, not with Krishna. And Gauranga's Dham is Navadvip. And this Unata Ujjal Madhura Ras that was Anarpita, it finds its definition even more clearly in Nagari Bhav. It's something highly secret, it's something that wasn't offered before. It's the essence, it's the most highest feature of Madhura Ras, you know? And it's very attractive. It's got all the qualities that Rupa Goswami mentions, alludes to. You know?
Yes.
Yeah.
I have
I have to go to the court today, so I have to